Hello, my name is Joy Wisdom, and I am going to talk to you about my book, Mirror Image. Gives facts and solutions around this inherited generational trauma and absorption, or the mirroring from our culture, lineage, etc. That can cause all sorts of issues for us genetically, cellularly, behaviorally, emotionally. We can inherit all sorts of different functions from the dysfunctions that our culture, lineage, family, etc. have lived. And this can be on a health level as well as a psychosomato level that plays out. It's packed with case studies. It helps you with solutions to get your zest of life back, and it covers groundbreaking factual exploration as to how we behave, why we live mental health issues, and clinical conversions, the Groundhog Day that we continue to live, continuing the dysfunction. Today, psychological influences are at an all-time high, and we are living in critical stages of evolution. The book explains in detail more around this philosophy. Science is learning we inherit all sorts of health issues and personal traits from lineage and culture, undermining and causing hardship for individuals. And I found this phenomena in early millennia and working with one-to-one clients. Therefore, 20 odd years, 2 decades plus of working with people at this level. We have lived generations of restriction, suppression, poor choice, lack and harsh living, and the emotional and psychological impacts live on within us. So great, the detriment, the emotional, psychological impacts, it filtered into our DNA, cellular memories, and passed down through further future generations. Emotional and psychological mirroring struck in a rut baseline thinking continues, proved with Holocaust survivors' legacies, continued with their grandchildren, great-grandchildren, etc. And some of this can jump generations, so it may not come out in either your brothers or your sisters, but it could come out in your children or your grandchildren. And it's a bit of a hide and seek game here. Centuries of war has plagued us, and various cultures and religions have instigated war since time immortal. Annihilation of other cultures. The trait continues. World War I, World War II was instigated by the same culture. Thinking transcended, driven from same hatred and skewed thinking. Facts and solutions are explained, and skewed thinking and intolerance, it continues today in many parts of the world. Why is that? Because we are formed from it, because we are conditioned to it, because we are brainwashed into it. That grandmothers smoking affects their granddaughters' fertility, and Avon trials of 2012 on pregnant mothers investigated fertility and found a link to grandmothers' puberty behavior affected future generations of fertility. And smoking in those critical times of hormonal change were very much involved in the formation that would go on and what would be passed on, the decline or the positive levels from those who smoked and those who didn't smoke at an early age. Grandfather smoking affected the male line with health issues of obesity and diabetes. That was found to go down the male line of grandfathers who had smoked at an early age, around about 10 upwards. And certainly we have had huge elements of that through war years and going back, of where smoking was seen as it was a social but also an interaction. And you can read all about that in one of the chapters. And many children through the ages have smoked pipes, smoked cigarettes. Quantum physics is a new science and in its infancy in understanding. And there is a whole chapter to explain the reality of quantum physics and how that will affect us, and what we create goes before us for us to live again. We each have a quantum field, and it will mirror us and what we live, creating more of the same living with Groundhog Day repetition. Like a boomerang, it will keep coming back to reinstate. I look at the science and the facts that are affecting people. I also teach about this in several of the personal growth programs and and other workshops. Stuck in old behaviour and thinking, the dregs of ancients, poor understanding and choice continue to entrap us in poverty and spirals of economic disasters. Legacies of segregation, intolerance and genocide continues. It's a global issue, and you can see it playing out, and how the ancient living has left us in the lurch, too dominant in our lives even today. And in the book, I look at different cultures and how this is affecting them. We still live by some of their rules and thinking today. Abuse and women's status in the world continues from those times, is very prevalent today in our news, in our media. Males are seen as the dominant factor, an automatic status. Females are seen as lesser beings in certain parts of the world. Out-of-date behaviour and thinking is untenable today, having no place in our world. However, actions remain. How much is being driven from Roman rule 2,000 years ago, stuck in the rut male dominance and violence resurrected from Rome? The Romans gave us hygiene and order. They gave us lots of positives, but there was also a lot of violence, intolerance, slavery, and elite economic division that still rules through our governments. Those are making the decisions, organizing social interaction. Technology has given many breakthroughs, and we embrace daily, yet change is slow in man's evolution. Poor living standards, hygiene, extreme poverty remains. Narrow views on health and education are detrimental in society. We live with separation, and unity is a very new concept, misunderstood by society. Them and us, segregation and tribal thinking is still dominant on a global level and a global problem. Respect and honor is eluded, ignored, and a barrier to the masses. We still are entrapped within our tribal old ways and old thinking. Who is responsible for our internal and ancestral inherited cycle, driven from subconscious and formation baselines? DNA carries on the traumas from ancients. Lack of new vision remains dominant within a core level within society. India has a caste system for over 3,000 years, a social hierarchy system passed down through families and lineages. Lineages are separated by status. In 1933, Gandhi tried to change the caste system. Laws were made. However, nothing has changed. 75 years later, still entrenched from ancient living and conditioning, out of sync with the world, with life today. Discrimination and segregation continues. Huge poverty and lack of hygiene remains for sections of society. Rape is a big problem within India. Every few minutes, females are sexually assaulted and raped. World Health Authority suggests India is the most dangerous place to live for females. Certainly, even if they migrate, they bring their thoughts and their conditioning with them and take it to other parts of the world. Are government and public office members choices based on today's needs or previous old ancestral thinking? Are they decisions causing hardship or advancement in society? The global situation says they are. Look around the world for confirmation. Outdated thinking is keeping us entrapped within small vision, within society, and on our very own doorstep, wherever we may be living. The world's full of ancient beliefs, and we continue a mismatch of traditions, rules, law that are out of sync with our 21st century living, holding us back in evolution, consciousness and advancement, debate instead of action. Time is wasted and nothing advances due to no vision, entrapped in old ways of living, not able to see new advances, benefits for our global society. And global warming is just one example. Virtual reality is gaining ground as we are losing thousands of years of brain growth and common sense to AI and technology. We are in critical times of evolution. Babies and toddlers are being less stimulated from lack of eye contact that help them to recognize, stimulate the brain. Are we on the slippery slope of less cognitive development and more robotic or zombie living with millions of years of brain growth removed through no stimulation? Eye contact is missed, social interactions reduced, and people are looking down instead of up, more interested in phones than their surroundings. And it is having a huge impact upon our youngsters, who are unable to make decisions for themselves without being prompted from their phones. Suggestions from Google, YouTube, etc. We're losing the ability to start to think and rationalize for ourselves. Our brain can work a lot faster than the phone technology. we have huge elements that we're not tapping into. And to find out that, have a look at my website and find out more about how you can make those changes. We need change, and we need to embrace the zest of life with new horizons. Aluna's Zest of Life program was launched in 2010. The book provides huge information on all of these hidden subjects that we live to today, and helping you to realize what you're living instead of you. And you can buy in paperback, online, through Amazon, and of course it's in ebook is available. You can download further information, CDs, workshops, articles and blogs. They are all online. Thank you for listening. Have a look at our website, Media Connections. And I've developed a range of programs with out-of-the-box education, self-help, skills and solutions, one-to-one therapy, personal growth programs, training workshops for professionals and individuals, solutions to resolve quickly and help prevent. Knowledge helps us to avoid Groundhog Day living, eliminate your packages and get your life back. Learn skills for a clean slate for future generations and society.